Yo,
Nothing but air and opportunity.
Yo.
Foundationally, you were like a beacon.
And inspire to
So I think that's a key word, inspire.
go towards change.
Can we talk about that?
Development and growth.
You've already laid the foundation and groundwork. You feel it?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Now hold on. Hold that thought. Take a deep breath. Feel me here, okay?
I got nothing but air and opportunity. Okay, you ready?
Let's roll.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Air and Opportunity. Your host, Chris DePalma, here with Dario Colbato.
Big dog in the house. Just chilling at Baltimore Coffee Company on a beautiful Friday.
Supposed to be a beautiful weekend.
What was it, like 26 yesterday, something in the morning?
22 in the morning.
22. Oh, in your neck of the woods.
Today,
Today.
I'm excited. I for years and years now, 8 years, coming up on 9. I've had this good friend of mine, and we are always talking about leadership. We're talking about growth, talking about development, talking about kids, parenthood, being a father, being a man. Today we have Professor Gary Baker here with us.
Professor, I love it.
I'm not really a professor. That is not a true statement.
Okay, let's roll.
And I got to say,
That's your nickname, the
yeah,
professor.
That's my nickname, yeah.
For years, though, this is someone who we have conversations about growth and development and being a better person, being a better man, a better father, a better parent, better employee. We talk so much about work and, you know, we sit down, we enjoy cigars and we
Solve the world's problems over a cigar.
Yeah. Now,
From
for
the
years,
location of where
in our
does this all be done?
whether his backyard, he has more acreage than I do, but his yard backs up to the woods,
Yeah.
to a nature trail, a creek.
Let's give the audience just a little bit of background about where that's at. just
So Keedysville,
Keedysville.
outside of Hagerstown. I'm not good with north, south, east, west, but it's outside of Hagerstown.
and for privacy reasons, we'll just keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
Keedysville's small, so you're not gonna.
Yeah. But you can see
Um,
some beautiful things from your backyard.
Oh
Oh
my
yeah,
goodness.
we're right across from the Antietam battlefield. Everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
But just this is someone who I think what's also made it so good is so wonderful, special is we met
Mhm.
because we have a neighbor who I went to elementary school with. I went to Laytonsville Elementary School. So when we moved in, she reached out and was like, "Oh, you know, we know each other." We started talking. So then we used to do a lot more of these get-togethers when the kids were younger, but she had a get-together at her house and they tried, you know, wives will try to like pair you up with other men, right?
Yeah.
And my response is always, I'm good. I'm all sold on friends. I don't need any more friends because I can tend to be an introvert.
that was also my response.
Really?
Yeah, very,
100%.
very. Like
Two opposites.
no, two,
Well, no.
two
I
same.
mean, two similars, but like
So
we weren't going to connect.
no, we
at
No,
all.
we weren't supposed to.
Yeah, we both have the mentality. Literally,
Negative and
said,
negative.
I'm all filled up on friends. I
Yep.
don't need any more right now. So we went to this get together, having some bourbon, some cigars, sitting outside, shooting the breeze. Actually, it started that way.
Okay.
You want to have a cigar? You want to? Yep. So we sit out back and then we start talking about cigars, bourbon, and then hit it off.
Nice.
Wonderful, amazing dude, credible family, Gary Baker. So
Professor.
Professor Baker. I don't want
Not a
to.
real professor, but
He's
yes,
also a
But you're
librarian.
solving the world's problems.
He's also a librarian.
not really.
So
Okay.
That's where my wife meets all of her friends, though, is the library.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
okay, so where to
An
start?
avid reader.
Yes.
Okay.
So, oh goodness.
She's up to book 21
Yeah,
this
she's
year.
on,
alone.
and she's big into
light years ahead of me.
history and presidents and right. So
Hence the Antietam battlefield. Did it have anything to do with like her
No.
location? No.
No, we grew up in the area.
In the
I took
area,
it for-
okay,
I took
okay.
it for granted
Okay.
growing up, but
Yeah,
then now
yeah.
through my travels, I realized that I live in like one of the most beautiful places in,
You are not
in the
kidding.
nation.
Yeah.
So,
Even
I
when
love
you-
Antietam battlefield.
and it's crazy because when you travel the world, like he travels the world really, but like when I've been to Germany and you're out riding around, I do always think back like where we live is amazing,
Yeah.
just beautiful. So with
Yes.
Gary, so I want to go back. So he's accomplished to me so much, right? Young guy, you know, but I want to go back to growing
How
up.
old are you guys?
40.
Nice.
So growing
I
up,
love that. I wish I could go back to 40.
right? Very, very
Yeah.
accomplished trooper. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Has some other passions, some other interests that I think he's amazing at that he's in the process of learning about. We'll talk about it. But so I want to talk about growing up. You grew up, to me, I look at it as growing up kind of rough. Would you say? I mean, you have amazing parents.
about it.
So I don't know. It's not rough per se. It's like it's not typical, right? So
Sure.
I grew up. I don't know. It's kind of like white trash field bash kind of type
yeah.
deal. Southern Washington County. Literally, the street ended where my house was. Lived in a trailer with my mom and dad.
Yep.
They separated for a little bit. Got back together eventually. No big deal.
How
But-
long were those spans when they separated? Was it often? Was it frequent?
No,
Or was it
when
just
I
like
mean
one
they
time?
separated, it was like one time.
One time,
So it was
okay.
like 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
Mom worked on the railroad. Wasn't home.
Sweet. Now, when I think of CSX,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's one of the first female brakemen on the railroad.
beautiful.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then, so I was just kind of alone. I had my grandfather. He lived
Okay.
on the same property. I could walk to his house, but it was just kind of responsible for myself.
Yeah.
Grew up.
Can we
always
go
want-
back? Can we go back to one thing real quick
Yeah.
before we go any further? Tell me about your grandfather. I want to know. Yeah.
He was just kind of, if there was one corner piece of my childhood, it was him. So he was always there. We would watch, I guess wouldn't really do this nowadays, but like Charlestown races, the horse track, we'd go over there like every day. He'd let me bet on the horses and stuff. And
I love him.
yeah, just
I love that
hung out
dude.
with him
Yeah.
a lot.
Yep.
Just kind of that, not really a parental figure, but like who I could hang out with.
You trusted him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%. Got it.
100%.
Yep.
Then, of course, lived my life there on my own, kind of.
Mhm.
Mom in and out because she's trying to provide.
Sure.
Dad, I go with every other weekend, I think, or whatever. I don't really remember it too much.
During this 4-5 year separation
Right.
part.
He also
yeah.
got to hang out at a young age at the bars.
Oh, yes. Because the parents were a little loose with things. So,
Fair.
I mean,
I get
even
it.
my grandfather, we would go to we went to the racetrack, and then we would usually stop by the Eagles Club in Brunswick.
Yeah.
And then, he would get mad if the bartender wouldn't let me sit at the bar with him. Right. But, no alcohol, just all
Okay.
soda for me. Right.
But he just wanted you next to him,
right.
and he would give you sodas.
yeah.
And you're okay.
And,
that was
let
your
me
time.
open up his tip jars.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
if I called a holder or whatever, he'd
Yeah.
let me keep the money. So that was everything, right? He would let me bet. He would let me. I was just like his little buddy. So that's what we did.
Yeah. Let me ask another question if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Did you have a nickname for him?
Yeah, Pappy.
Pappy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this
Oh,
is
yeah.
Pappy.
What'd you call your grandfather?
Pops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took me to out in Delaware. They had the racetrack there,
Yeah.
and so I learned about bookies and being at the track. So
Yeah.
I'm-
I don't
I'm-
think
I'm
there was
following
ever a
us.
bookie, but he would let me bet.
Yeah.
I'm to this day I will not gamble at all
I love
anymore.
it.
I hate
Yep.
it. I hate it.
it's the
can't-
worst thing ever,
Well, and
in
then
my opinion.
the other. So I'm really cheap.
Okay.
So I think all my gambling is done in the stock market. That's the only way I can do it.
Okay.
But and the only time I've ever won anything was when we went to some money bonanza for like a little league,
Okay.
and we were like, yeah, we'll do it. But it was like one of those ones where you won by not getting your number picked. So my number didn't get picked, so it's the only way I won. And I was like, I'm never actually going to bet.
That was a sign. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, we grew up there doing all that. So it's funny because I called him Pappy, right? And then, so now my dad is Pappy.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be a Pappy. I've already made up my mind for this, right? Like, so I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Do you
No,
think
tell
it's
me, come
more
on,
of a, do you get to pick or do you let them pick?
I think they pick.
They pick.
Yeah.
I'm down with it. They pick.
They can't talk yet. You pick.
That's
I think-
just-
I think
But
you
you
can-
could. No,
you can
I think
influence it,
you
right?
could.
Absolutely could.
I think
Yeah.
you could impact it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that was generationally
Yeah.
in the outside of Philadelphia area in Chester, where my stepfather grew up, who was a U.S. Marshal,
Yeah.
state trooper down in Florida. It was always Pops.
Yeah.
So if you referred to somebody, it'd be like, hey, Pops, what's
Mhm.
happening? And then your grandfather was always Pops. So that was like a legacy thing,
Right.
but you could plant the seed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See, I've
What would
already,
it be?
Opa.
Is that a Greek thing?
No, it's German.
It's German.
It's German grandfather.
Oh, sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Yeah.
Ah.
So I've been trying to. So we've been doing.
He's already laying the
Opa.
foundation.
I'm already laying the foundation,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So
I
Here's
want
the
to learn
problem.
about this down the road. Okay.
Oh yeah. So here's the problem. It's very, very contested in our household right now because Lucy, my daughter,
Yep.
she is super proud of our German heritage, not so much of our Italian heritage, which comes from my wife's side. So World Cup is coming up. When the Euros were in, she is a German fan through and through. I have no idea why. We went to Germany. We've been studying German and trying to learn it and everything else. I coach soccer. We can
Yeah.
get to that too, but
yes, please.
coach soccer. very German style. I teach and everything else. It's just kind of something I kind of grew into. My
I guess it is fitting then. I guess it makes sense.
right.
I think
Opa?
if,
Yeah.
I mean, if it came, so wait, hold on. I got to be clear on this. What you're telling me is you like Opa.
I like it. That's what I
You like it.
That's what I want them to call me, not Pappy. I don't want
But
to be Pappy.
You don't want to be Pappy. Now I want to touch on that. Why don't you want to be Pappy?
I don't think. All right. So my father's name is also Gary Baker.
Okay.
But I'm not a junior.
Okay. You have the middle initial.
I have the middle initial.
Yep.
And it's been. So it's always little Gary, big Gary.
Yeah.
I think there's something there that I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Got
Big
you.
Pappy, little Pappy.
Okay.
Although
the-
Big Gary's a good dude.
Big Gary's a good dude.
He is.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
is a
He's
very
awesome.
good dude.
So hold on. So let me go back to, okay, so your parents were separated for like 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
You're hanging out with your Pappy
Mm-hmm.
and they get back together.
Yep.
And then how does Big Gary play a role now? Like how did he become, or was he always like good, great guy?
No,
Mm.
probably not.
Okay. Okay.
So my parents, even when they got back together, they fought a lot.
Mm.
And that was kind of how I ended up being real close with my little sister who lived with me because she always, lots of yelling, lots of fighting, nothing physical, nothing crazy, right?
Okay.
But it was contentious there for a while. Then, he had some anger stuff and maybe some, mom was not easy to get along with.
Yeah.
Dad had some anger stuff. They fought a lot, brought me and my sister together. And then he chilled out as he
got older.
So their relationship got a lot
was
better.
he a trooper?
No.
Oh, so it was
He's
you
always
and,
been-
you and Casey. His sister's a trooper too.
Oh,
Yep.
very cool.
Yeah.
What is it? What are your divisions? How do you break up the state trooper?
So we could break it up by the
locations?
barrack,
Okay.
but we are in a special division that just concentrates on commercial vehicles.
Both of you.
Mhm.
So she followed in your footsteps.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay.
And
So you run the whole state. You go through the whole state.
Yeah, we operate throughout the whole state.
not to mention,
Mhm.
and you do it so much better, but I'll at least tee it up is the training and the process. Talk about he's worked. Hold on.
Yeah,
I don't want to get there yet.
Would
Back
it be
up.
okay? Yeah. I
Back
want to
up.
come back to
Yeah,
Pappy because Pappy
Good.
was, for you and I, the reason we built and started this was because of father figures in our
Yeah.
lives, they
Or
weren't
lack
there,
of.
or lack
Right.
of,
Mhm.
So my stepfather, as the audience may know, he was disciplined.
Right.
Thank God he was, because, he would say, well, how fast do you think you were going around that turn when you ran your car into a telephone pole? Because I was following Chris, by the way.
You weren't following me.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
were,
yeah. I
we
was.
were
Not-
racing.
We were racing.
So there was no following. You were ahead.
No, you were
And you
ahead, weren't
rolled
you?
it.
Oh.
I didn't roll it though. I won.
So he eventually won because he crossed the finish line. I didn't.
I mean, that checks out.
Yeah.
You have to cross the finish
You
line to
gotta
win.
cross the finish line. So I'm like, I didn't do it. And I had my buddy in the car. And so the old man went down to the site, the
Mhm.
crime scene, and said, how fast? You want to tell me again how fast you were going? And I was like, all right, I'll tell the truth now. So thankfully for him, he was there when my mom and my dad divorced. But so back to Pappy, he chilled out over time.
His dad did.
My
Oh, no,
dad
sorry.
chilled out. Pappy was always chill.
But he's still Pappy.
Yeah.
You
He's
just don't want to be Pappy.
I
Little
just don't want to
Pappy.
be little Pappy.
Yeah.
No, I want my own name.
For
once.
For once. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Now he's a good guy.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Wonderful.
And he was
In what
good
ways?
back then too. I just think it was, looking back at it, it is one of those things where you kind of, I don't know, you kind of examine it a little bit. And I think it's like he came back right when I was becoming like a teenager.
Uh-huh.
And at that point, you're like, well, I'm glad you're back, but kind of coming in like heavy-handed, rules eccentrics.
Yeah.
Mom and dad are always fighting. I just want to be left alone. I've been left alone up until this point.
Now
Now-
you come along, are back in.
Yeah.
and-
Well, both
yeah,
of them kind
yeah.
of came back in together, and it was just,
Yeah.
it was like, a whole family trying to like exist again
Mhm,
without,
mhm.
I had an older sister at the time. She got emancipated at like 16, I think,
And so your little sister is,
5 years younger than I am.
and you're connecting because you're like, hey, they're arguing and fighting.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
and,
they would argue. She would just come in my room. We'd play video
Yeah.
games or listen to music
Yep.
or do whatever. I mean, she credits me with a lot more than I was involved.
love it.
But
Well, you were safety to her, kind of.
yeah, but I don't like to like look at it that way. I was
Yeah.
just there.
So okay, so then here's my next question. Then was just which is what would help me understand something, because
Mhm.
what would or could have he done to make you feel like, all right, I'm at least okay with that? What could he have done differently?
Oh no, man. Because like I said, looking back at it, it's probably a childish perspective that I still have, and I don't really think back on it too much longer. I think what he did was good. He stuck around, and he was beneficial to me because he definitely, we had rules and we had structure, but the biggest thing he did for me was he taught me like responsibility for your own actions, which I still carry to this day.
Beautiful.
For everything.
And integrity,
There you go. Okay.
and integrity standards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So
what
then
he
there you
is.
go.
That's
Okay.
what he.
But remember, what he was doing is what we always talk about too. Is he was doing the best he could with what he knew.
Yeah.
Right. And they, our parents came from a little bit different times, right? So I think that's really what it is. You do the best you got.
Yeah.
With what you got as a father, as a parent.
And not trying to get into the whole like dirty laundry of my parents' history and everything else. But one of the things I always respect from my father was he always said things like, and he stood by them, no matter what happens, tell me the truth and I'll have your back. So I latched onto that. So if I screwed up in school, I'd come and I would flat out tell him, and he'd be like, all right, that's great. So I carry that on to my own son where I say, hey, if you get in trouble at school or something, let me know. And then we can go attack it together. But don't let me go in somewhere and then I get blindsided by something that you did or whatever else. One of the funniest stories I have from my dad was like when I started driving was he would say, there's basically no rule. The rule was you call me when you get there, you tell me where you're going, no drugs, no alcohol. And that was it. I had complete freedom.
Okay.
So the one time, me, my wife, and my buddy were going to go to Savannah, Georgia on a whim.
This is your girlfriend at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So we used to reenact the Revolutionary War. Full stop, right?
Sweet.
With my parents, or with my wife's father.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, we're going to go to Savannah. I was like, okay, cool. And I forgot all about it. Didn't tell my parents. So then Sarah's like, hey, we're going to go to Savannah. So I was like, oh. So I left my dad a note on the counter that was like, hey, going to Savannah for the weekend. I'll be back.
Yeah.
I called him when I got there.
Yeah.
And like I said,
that was the rules.
That was the rules,
Yeah.
right? So I never.
Those are the boundaries, yeah.
Those were the boundaries. So like, I remember having a conversation with a couple of my friends. They'd be like, man, your dad's awesome. I was like, no, there's rules. Like these are my rules, and I'm not going to screw these up because I like having my freedom. I like going wherever I want to go. Like, so like you can offer me like, and beer, drugs, all that stuff. I was like not interested because I wanted my freedom. And I knew I had that. And I knew that as soon as he told me, as soon as you screw this up, it's gone.
Which I consistently use with my kids. Same thing. And he and I have talked about, it's where I got that from.
Let me ask you a question though. Those boundaries, you didn't want to lose your freedom.
Right.
Was this the one time that you pushed up against this boundary? Or how did this get?
No, he said I could
the story.
No, he
said
so
you could roll, and you rolled.
I rolled. I was done. I was gone.
And
you
as
know what,
long
when
as
I
he
got
did
there-
exactly what he let him know, here's a note.
After the 9.5 hour car ride or whatever, I called him. I was like, hey, did you get my note? He said, yep. Thanks for calling. I was like, yeah, I'll be back on Sunday. And that was it.
Interesting. Wow. That would never happen today.
No, I think that's
gone.
I always look at my son sometimes because I'm thinking to myself,
So
I
you
wanted
can't
to
use
give
that anymore.
I want to give my kids a better life than what I had.
Yeah.
Right. That was one of my goals in life.
This was our last cigar conversation. Was this right here?
Go flow.
Right. So, but I look at my son and like sometimes he acts like he doesn't know how to cut up his food, or he'll be like, hey, he'll sit down at the table and be like, can someone give me a glass of water? And I'm like, am I doing too much here? Like at your age, I was like cooking my own food in the microwave and stuff,
Yeah.
And then, but it's not just limited to him. It's everywhere because I work with youth groups and soccer and everything else. And it's not just a clustered thing.
And the conversation is, you and I have this conversation all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But as you grow up, our generation, I guess I'll say, wanted to do better for their kids than they had. So what is the result of that? To what detriment, right? We talk about this. So
sometimes I think we failed.
I wouldn't say fail. And we talked about this. I don't know about fail, but I think we definitely have contributed to that difference in push and drive and motivation and independence that we had. It's definitely, but it's not just, it's not just us. I think it's
originally, you're right. So even then, like my dad wanted to give me freedom. I took it. And that was like very important.
And you
to
never
me.
crossed the boundary,
Never,
ever.
ever.
Wow, that's integrity.
No,
Now-
'cause
But he
I
also
didn't-
knew what was at stake.
I knew what was at stake.
Well,
yeah.
what was at stake though? Because you
Said I
never
wouldn't be
even
able to do it.
tested.
No
But do you
freedom.
think he would have really?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
100%.
I didn't want to find out. No, when you get to
That's
go,
pretty powerful.
when you get to do whatever you, like, I could essentially do whatever I wanted, and my father said he trusted me. I did
As
not
long
want
as
to
there's
lose it.
4 golden rules.
Yeah.
Call me.
Let me know
Let
where
me know
you're
you're
going.
going. Call me
Call
when
me.
you get there.
No drugs.
No
and
drugs,
alcohol.
no alcohol.
Mhm.
And
So
use
I didn't want to have
protection.
any part of it.
So where
Okay.
do you think we went wrong
Or are going wrong.
or going wrong?
I think we're too protective.
Yes.
I think
I
some
agree with
of
you 100%.
So my wife read surprisingly, she read a book. She told me about it called The Anxious Generation.
Yes, that's a very good book.
It was an amazing book, but
Yeah.
it kind of shows us, I think there's 2 extremes.
Okay.
Yeah. So my wife's grandfather grew up in D.C. and has a story about how, well, he did. He
Mhm.
passed away. But
Sorry to
where
hear
his
that.
brother was playing in the street in D.C.
Yep.
Got hit by a bus.
Mm.
And it seems like, and then my dad had a family of 13, and many of them didn't survive at a young child age. So I don't think we need to like give so much freedom that our children are dying in the streets.
Yeah.
But I do think that at some point we maybe just need to let them develop themselves,
Sure.
or just let them fail
Yeah.
under controlled circumstances.
Of course.
Because if they fail now,
Better than
So-
later.
better than later when we
Yep.
can't control the circumstances.
Exactly.
Right. Plus just boys in general are supposed to be, we're making them so risk averted when
Yeah.
they're supposed, it's just proven that we learn through risk and danger. And there's a reason, like, usually males want to like jump off stuff and smash things with a hammer and
There's
see
no
what
doubt.
happens.
Yeah.
I was that way. So
So what do you do?
Might be,
I
So what
love
do you
it.
do? I mean, I got an 18-year-old son getting ready to go to college.
Well, I know where the both of you come from because I have the same feeling. Like, so I would be pulling the wool over your eyes if I didn't say this. And that is, I want my son to be able to cross the street on a bike, of course, with a helmet on, but like go and ride his bike to McDonald's. The problem I have, the challenge I have, is my wife. She's very protective. So when I get to that urge of like, hey, just let him go, I could probably strategically, with the help of men like you, say, well, let's think this through. At some point, he's got to cross the road. And yeah, it is a busy road, but that love and care and protection that I want for him to honestly, deep down inside, not let him cross the road because I'm afraid he's going to get hit by a car. I'm just like, I gotta let go. And here's what it boils down to, in my humble opinion. God has a plan. I'm going to follow it to a certain degree, which I mean is he's going to roll, let him go. I did everything that I could possibly do to teach him how to safely, which is what I understand you do, is understand safety. Taught him. Here you go.
Now, I will
Roll.
say, so we moved into the neighborhood 2018. I would say 2019, we started going to the beach.
Yep.
With this group of people. Beautiful, best beach I've ever been to. Absolute favorite, Emerald Isle. At Emerald Isle, they have a path just about from one end to the other.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, from the point to that, almost to the end. So every year we would go, my son, where we live, he would ride his bike in the neighborhood, but same thing, right? I want him to cross the street. We used to go ride our bikes to like Rockville Metro and Twinbrook. Like we would go off and ride far, right? So our kids aren't doing that. So he rides around the neighborhood in Keedysville. He doesn't go any further. Oftentimes we don't even let him out of the neighborhood to go ride his bike up into town, right? But we go to Emerald Isle and he's like, I want to bring my bike. So when we go to there, we learn about it because we go and his sister and her husband bring their bikes.
Yeah.
And so they're riding bikes and we start to find out, okay, well, they've got this bike path that goes on 18 miles, whatever. I don't know, however long, 10 to a mile.
Yep.
So Anthony rides Jeremy's bike, his brother-in-law, and decides, I love riding my bike at the beach. So every year we go to the beach, he brings his bike. So now I'm letting him go out for 2 hours. He's riding 18 miles on his own through beach traffic.
But you wouldn't let him do it at home.
I mean, I guess we've relaxed. And yeah, he never really wanted to at home. It was like anyways, my point is this. He didn't do it. Not that we didn't allow him. He really didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But he learned it and he built the
There you go.
ability to do it anyway, right? So my point is, and we always talk about this too, we might be softening them, but at the same time, they still get it from other places. They may not get it from us,
That's
but
right.
they learn some resiliency
right.
and strength.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do.
What do you think is a solution?
I think I think I'm the same way because I don't want my son to get hurt. Like I couldn't even really coach baseball because I didn't want to hit him with the ball. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, come on, man. I do enjoy seeing him go out there and explore and stuff, but yeah, I think some of it is just like letting him go and letting him fail. But I have a problem with it too. I just don't want to see I don't want to see him disappointed. I don't want to see him heartbroken. I don't want to see him upset. You know,
All the things that help
We were just
strengthen
talking
you.
about this
Right,
morning.
right?
Yeah, the things that make you strong.
well, you got to learn from mistakes. They're
Yes.
the best teacher. And
Yeah.
and then sometimes it's even, I think, because what's most convenient. Is it more convenient for me to just do
Absolutely right.
said action instead of sitting down and letting you fail 10 or 12 times before you learn how to do it or whatever else? So-
Here's another part to it too, and this is where I've been horrible about it, is my love language is to do things for people, is to give.
Yeah.
So out of habit, I've always been like, what do you want? I'll make you nuggets, right? I'll make you pasta. I'll make you dinner. I'll make you another dinner. It's
Yeah.
8:30, 9 o'clock. I'll make you another dinner,
Yeah.
right? I've always, and all that's done is, I looked at him the other day and I'm like, all right, 18, you're going to college next year. What are you going to eat? You're going to go to McDonald's. What are you going to do?
So you're
What
going
do
to
you-
let him do it?
Well, I mean, he's about to go to college in
Yeah.
August.
Yep. Gone.
It's,
You're not going to send him any money down there?
well, I'm sure I'll pay for the meal plan at college, right? So he'll have the cafeteria. But
There you go. So I'm curious to know for the both of you, would you say to your son today, as long as you call me, tell me where you're going where you're going, call me when you get there, no drugs, no alcohol, and we're good. Would you do that today with him? Because look how you turned out.
Would I? Maybe. But my wife? Never.
But the other thing too is he's also
Never.
not at the age. I mean, when did your dad start saying that?
He's at the end.
Like
mean-
I think I have an advantage.
Mine was
would
right when I started
definitely
driving.
Okay, so
16?
he's nowhere near. His
Oh,
son's
he's
nowhere near there.
14, 13, 14.
No, I got 3 years, dog.
Yeah, so 3 years. He still has
He's
time.
coming out.
He
He's coming
has-
out.
But he has time. He has 3 years.
Okay,
right?
so
So
let's-
that's what I'm saying is, here's the thing.
How can we
Okay.
say that to him if he's saying,
I'll tell you. So at 13, I looked at Anthony and said, how could I ever say this? And then mature. And by the time he turned 16, I definitely felt comfortable saying it. For sure.
Yeah, my problem right now is my son doesn't even remember to take his medicine daily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, so
is the medicine? Well, we won't. Okay. So your wife would never.
probably not.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel
right.
like
No,
she's the
no.
one who would. I feel like she's the one that's like, go, get out, stop.
No, because one of the things that
I
drives
bet you
me,
she'd argue completely differently if she was here.
probably she put us in our place, but I don't know, because the one thing we do differ on is my kids are terrible eaters their
Okay.
entire lives. They're
Yeah, mine too.
literally where you're eat your food, take a bite of food,
Right.
eat your food. It's just
Like, we're
constant.
talking broccoli here. Like,
Well, no,
what
they'll
do-
eat. The
Okay,
thing
yeah.
is,
Even
they'll
things
eat
they
it.
love,
Even
you
things they
have
love.
to
You're just like,
say-
hey, stop talking. I need you to
What?
eat. You know, they're just the slowest eaters. It's like the bane of my existence right
Yeah,
now. But there's times where they're just like, I'm full or whatever, or they just don't want to eat or whatever. And I'm like, well, you know what? I would love to do the old school thing of just like, all right, plate goes away. And then when they're hungry again,
Here it is.
here's that cold food that you didn't want. And then
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
they're skinny
Yeah.
anyway.
They're burning through.
Yeah,
food
their
when they-
metabolism
yeah.
is through.
Yeah.
So she's always just trying to jam them full of every nutrient, vitamin that she can get into them. She wants
Yeah.
every calorie to count.
Yeah. And what does your
So-
wife do for a living?
She stays at home with
Manage
them.
that
Oh.
family.
Manages the
oh,
chaos.
that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I love it. That's
We thought that was important.
huge. That's tremendous.
She always wanted to do it. I'm glad that I can
yeah.
provide for her enough to do it. And, you
Yeah.
know,
And
but she's so busy with everything else. She volunteers all over the place. She's on Keysville Town Council. I mean, just
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the important things I wanted to make sure is there's a huge other side to this guy from a leadership perspective that I want to make sure we talk about.
I was going to dive right into that.
So
I was going to
how'd
dovetail into
how'd
that.
you end up, what interested you and led you into the profession of being a trooper?
what led me there was, so in high school, I was so I liked school well enough, but I was always the guy that if I don't see a purpose, this is my son to a T. If I don't see a purpose to something, then I'm not going to either do it or try. So
Fair enough. That's called efficiency.
yeah, like
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You just can't make me care about like one of the big things is like English class. Like I was a good writer. They always told me I was a good writer, but I would never write about the topics that they gave me. I was
You have
like,
to write a report now, though, don't you?
yeah, but those are necessary
yeah.
evils, right? Like I can do that, but
Yeah.
because there's a purpose to it,
Right,
right? But like,
right.
don't make me dissect a sentence or tell me what the poet thought when
Right.
he was writing some of these words. I'm like, I
God
just
only
don't care.
knows.
I
Yeah.
don't care.
Right.
I
So-
just don't.
What high school was this, by the way?
Boonesboro.
Boonesboro.
Mhm.
Nice. Okay.
So, in my mind, I thought I was going to be a computer programmer going into high school, or like getting ready to leave high school. But the thought of sitting behind a desk, like, just didn't jive. So I had a teacher. I was in diversified occupations. I get out half a day early to work.
Nice.
So I came to him with that problem. I was like, hey, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up because it's not this. I thought it was this, and it's not going to be computer programming now. He's like, well, what did you want to do when you were young? He's like, because if that's usually what's going to make you the most happy, because that was my thing. I didn't want to work. I wanted to be happy.
Yep.
So he was like, just figure that out. So I was like, well, I wanted to be a detective when I was like little. I always liked it. And then he was like, well, you got to be a cop first. I was like, okay, I'll be a cop. And then just the way my mind went, I was like, I want to do the best.
Oh, like it. Okay. So
like-
what were you thinking at that time? What was the best at the time?
So at the time, I had no idea.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But then I learned that the state police academy was the hardest academy in the state. 6 month
And
living
is that in
academy.
Pikesville?
It
That's-
was.
that's
Now
what-
it's in Sykesville.
Now it's in Sykesville. Okay, I heard about that.
So our academy was 6 months live in,
Mhm.
taught by all former Marine DIs. That's what I was like. All right, that sounds great. I was like, so I'll try to figure that out. So I started like looking for things that would prepare me for that. I was at church. My youth leader's father tells me on a whim, he's like, hey, if you're looking into that, you should look into the cadet program from the Maryland State Police.
And what was that? Is that like start younger or?
So what they end up doing is you can't be a police officer in Maryland until you're 21 because you can't
Got
carry a sidearm.
Got it.
So what they do is they have this program called the cadet program where at 18 you can be hired on.
Yep.
You're a civilian employee, starts your retirement benefits, everything.
Ooh, this is really good for the youth to
Right.
know.
And then you ride along with a trooper. You're assigned to the Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Division, which is what I'm in now.
Yep.
And in 2 years, with adequate service, you get to go in the academy. So I applied, got in, hit my 22 years, March 17th of this year,
Congratulations.
eligible for retirement. Yep.
Nice.
40.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
So-
man.
thank you.
So through that though, which is why he and I get along so well, is
Which is what?
you can be a trooper.
Yep.
You can do something, but he continues to like, okay, where can I grow? Where is there a gap? Where is there a hole? Where can I fill it and do more and be better? Which gets him into, so you've been a trooper,
Mhm.
but you got into a different side of it. I look at it as a different side, right? And I'm going to explain it wrong, but got into it from a different side. You think of a trooper
The
being
cadet program and then the
well,
enforcement.
then he's into being a trooper in the enforcement side.
Yeah.
And you think of like in a cruiser on the road, but then he transitions into where you've been now for a few years, right?
Right.
Which is
So I'll give you the whole gamut. So I was a cadet here for 2 years, went in the academy, came out, got sent down to Rockville, was there for like a year and a half on the road.
on the road. Yep.
Mhm. Just
Regular
regular
state trooper.
traffic barrack,
Yep.
right? What
Yep.
you think of, you
Yep.
know, when you think of highway patrol, just like
Mhm.
working traffic crashes, stuff like that.
Time out though. I want to know something because it's always confused me. What are you responsible for at that point in time for Rockville?
Rockville, we had all of 270, 495, and 370.
Got it. Perfect.
So
Thank
it
you.
was
Okay.
it was typical highway barrack,
Yep.
but very different for what I ever experienced up until that point in my life because I'm from like southern Washington County,
Oh,
and,
that's
then you go to Rockville and it's
the
all
city.
yeah, just
Yeah.
city and money and
yeah.
you know just
People are
lots
different.
of people,
Yeah.
lots of different, lots of traffic. I mean, just everything. Learned a lot down there. Had a great mentor. You know,
Who was a Marine at all, or no? Was
he was a former Marine.
former
Yeah.
Marine? Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, he taught me one of the things I try to teach people nowadays of, so sometimes when you go to court,
Mhm.
you're going to lose a case. And a lot of times you'll lose a case over some legal technicality, right? Because the law is written by lawyers, and the reason they write it so confusing and not in plain language is so that they can go in
A way out.
a way out, and then they make money, right? So he looked at I
like
I
the
just
medical industry.
I had just lost a case for something stupid, some
Yep.
technicality, and he looked right at me and he said, "If you want to be better,
Mhm.
never lose on that technicality again." He goes, "You're always going to lose on a technicality. There's always going to be something that they
Something.
brought in that
Yep.
you're not going to, but take it as a learning opportunity.
Love it.
You know, you did your job. It's okay." So I've always taken that with me of just,
What a great
you'll get
mentor.
me once. It
Yeah.
won't happen again.
Yeah.
It won't happen
I've
again. Like,
seen
that's
that
fine.
happen, yeah.
And, you know, some people get discouraged by it. So then I got transferred to Frederick,
Oh, wonderful.
Yep.
Okay.
full service barrack. They put me down south, close to the Washington County border, because I was able to speak redneck. You know, talk.
Yeah.
I
And
got
you knew who was coming too, because that's a small community.
Mhm.
Yeah. So did anybody recognize you when you like?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Tell
So-
me the truth. you
Yeah,
know?
they know.
Uh-huh.
They know. So, you know, you handle people differently down there than, especially than the way that the state police wanted to do it. But I never got into a single fight when I was patrolling down there. I was in a police involved shooting one time,
Well,
but
thank God you're still here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's only by God's grace that
That's
I am.
right.
But
That's right.
they, so then
you're
I,
in Frederick
Frederick here,
here.
love and life.
Mm.
Then got transferred to the Walkersville Resident Trooper Program, which is
What is that?
so it's you are still a state trooper,
Uh-huh.
but you are responsible for the town politics.
What?
Oh
Does
yeah,
this do the state trooper?
yeah. They pay for they
system?
basically pay the state police to be their police department.
Liaison or
No,
police
not even
department?
liaison. Oh, like I would go to town council meetings, HOA meetings. You know,
So you were like the sheriff.
no, the sheriff was mad, right?
Yeah.
The sheriff
Yeah.
did not like this program, but I mean, it was a lot different, but I loved it. It was like, it was all community policing based, you know, the big to do was always like the carnival would come to town. So we were
Yeah.
like on 12-hour shifts on our
Yeah.
bikes,
Yeah.
you know, pedaling around.
Right,
I was
right,
like one
right.
of 3 troopers that could like do bike patrol. You go, there'd be
I'm just
people,
picturing you on a bike, man.
No, it
Yeah,
was
you're
awesome.
like, come
I
on, let's
loved it. They would, there's a couple of people that they would invite, you'd be on late shift and they'd be like, "Hey, trooper,
Yeah.
come to my house tonight. We're having spaghetti." And I'm like, "I don't really like spaghetti, but I better go eat." So
roll.
we'd go
You
there.
gotta love the community feel.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
That's a unique program that I never even knew of.
Do they still do it?
yeah.
Wow.
They moved to full time. One of the biggest perks was like the latest I ever had to work up there was 2 a.m. Right. I never had to do night shift, which always wrecked me.
Yeah.
And then, but now I think they're full time.
Oh, sweet.
think
What about
they
like
expand-
Mount Airy? Mount Airy?
Mount
had,
Airy
like,
used to have one.
Yeah.
Now they have their own police
They have their own
department.
police
Yep.
department, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, they phased that one out.
Okay. So
Which-
now you're past Walkersville.
Past Walkersville.
Where are you
Went
now?
back commercial vehicle. I went to back to commercial vehicle enforcement
Okay.
with the birth of my son, which was a huge blessing because now no more hours, less holidays, very few weekends,
Okay.
lots of overtime, and I can really like slow down and concentrate on family life.
Beautiful.
Since my mom and dad weren't around for me growing up, my one promise or my one goal in work was to be there.
Wow.
You know, one of the hardest things for me growing up was like anytime I was involved in like sports, band, anything like that, I had to bum rides from like other people or
I know how that feels.
try to get
Yeah. Thank
Try
you,
to get-
Chris.
try to figure out ways to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also the, you know, the disappointment of like, you know, you see everybody else, you're like, I'm done. Not
Yep.
for me.
Yep.
No family there to support me. But
What kind of bike did you have when you were a kid? Did you have a bike when you were a kid?
oh yeah, I had like my biggest bike I think that I remember was like, remember what's that thing called the Shock Doctor or the Shock Master or something?
I was just
Man, I
thinking
remember that
like,
thing. There was a commercial for it. I was like,
what was
that's
it like
awesome.
Dyna?
Yeah.
I can't remember the
I had
name
a
of
Mongoose.
the Mongoose. Yeah.
But
yeah,
I had
yeah.
a BMX. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what that
Interesting.
was.
Yeah.
It's like
Was
a
it?
little BMX thing with a
Huh.
deflector on the front. I just remember the commercial being like, I want that. And I got it for Easter.
So you were riding around now. Okay, so I have a question about that, like the
Mhm.
enforcement. What is the difference between? Well, no, this is a clarifying question then. What is the little shop that's in the middle of the highway when the big truckers?
That's a scale house.
That's the scale
Yeah.
house, but is that part of your
That's part of our
part
stuff.
of yours? Okay, okay.
Yeah. We
Is
have
that
sta-
where you were at though? Like, is that how you
No.
would do? Okay,
So-
that's
so
what I
check
want to
this
know.
out,
Okay,
right?
I'm following. I'm tracking.
So there was so you-
Mm.
All right, hold on. I got to
Come
be
on.
careful here. Ah, screw it. I got 22 years in. I don't care
Okay.
anymore.
Go.
There's lazy troopers and then
Yep.
there's proactive troopers.
Love it.
I don't fall
You're
in
the
that.
man.
I don't
You're the
fall
man.
into that lazy
I didn't
category,
think so.
right?
I didn't think you got
So-
something to prove.
Not
I
even
think-
something to prove. I
no?
just want to have fun.
Yeah, but would you say deep down inside, like,
Well, remember, he wants to finish well too, right?
yeah, like
So you don't get
know,
that just by
you
status
were
quo.
always on your own. You're like, man, I'm gonna get stuff done. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, that and just
you're an
I didn't-
independent person.
Well, I didn't want to be a trooper to sit in a scale house and
Right on.
write overweight
Yeah.
tickets,
Love it.
right?
I gotta
Like-
tell you a story about that, by the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Just say. I'll come back
But-
to it.
So I remember when I first came in, I went to
Yeah.
Frederick Newmarket, which is where I was assigned as a cadet. The sergeant at that facility was my trooper who was responsible for me when I was a cadet.
Okay. Okay.
So then when I got assigned to Newmarket, he's just now my sergeant. I literally walk into the facility. He looks right at me. He goes, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I got assigned here." And he goes, "No, you're my rover. Get out." And I was like, "See ya." So unless I was ordered to be there, I was never at that facility.
Now, did you get to ride around in the Suburban?
Yeah,
Was that the Suburban trooper?
I've had
What kind of? Yeah.
Tahoes,
Tahoes.
Expeditions,
Ex-
Crown Vics.
He's got a Durango now.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got a Durango.
Got a Durango right now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, he said for you to get out,
Get out.
basically.
Yeah, because he
Okay.
knew I was going to go do what I was supposed to do. So I
Yeah.
went out
Ah.
and,
Yeah.
when I hit the ground running. I was out there to make a difference. And I went out there and I went for I told him, I was like, I'm not going to get you overweights because that was never a passion of mine, trucks being
Yeah.
overweight. I
Yeah.
just don't, it has its purpose. I get
Okay.
it, but
Okay.
not for me. I wanted to lock people up. So I'd get
Oh,
them
you
for warrants and drugs and guns and all kinds of other stuff that you wouldn't expect coming out of a
But,
truck.
but then the commercial vehicle side, I mean, I think go to the commercial vehicle side, right? Because you become much more involved in that.
Well, that's what I was doing. I was
Yeah.
just targeting trucks at that point.
You were targeting them. Okay. So here's my question to you. This is where my story
Well, that was my
goes.
main responsibility.
there's-
Not
there's-
targeting. My
no,
main
no, no.
responsibility is,
No, I
is truck
got you.
enforcement. So
So I
that's what
used to. I had my CDL license when I was working for a company called Chapel Valley.
Okay. Familiar.
Chapel, yeah, you know Chapel Valley. They're out, Woodbine,
Yeah.
Maryland. So we would pack up truck. I would do my circle check,
Yeah.
make sure all my lights were working, signals, brakes, everything's
Yep.
connected. So I would say give me the benefit of the doubt here, okay? Because sometimes I'm naive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I knew the rules, I knew the laws, and I'm coming back from Pikesville, that
Mhm.
area, doing a commercial job. Nobody's with me, and I'm like, I got to get home.
Right.
And I want to get home, and I'm thinking, okay, what's the fastest route home? Forgetting that I'm in a big truck. So what do? I get off at an exit, pumping along on 144, Route 1, 144.
All right.
Getting closer to Woodbine. Next thing you know, I bet you it was you. Pull me over, license, registration, and I go, the heck's he pulling me over for? And he goes, did you realize that you skipped the scale? And I went, son of a gun.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it. Totally avoided the scale. That
Yep.
was my first lesson
Yeah.
in oh, yeah, that may be the little shop over here that
Right.
you're supposed to stop at. They got an eye on you. You better be careful the next time you go out in
Oh, yeah.
this truck. So how do you do that? What's the process? How were you finding people that needed to be locked up when they're coming down in a commercial vehicle? Do you know what I mean?
A lot of it is just doing. A lot of guys get complacent
Okay.
with doing truck inspections.
Yep.
And one of the cultures we constantly fight is
Uh-huh.
they go into the commercial vehicle enforcement division to retire. So they're not looking for
Mm,
indicators and things like that.
Okay.
And I've never been that way. I just ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
I play dumb cop on the side of the road.
I love it. You're good.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Ah.
I'm really good at it. I'm really, really good at playing dumb cop. And then I started doing a little bit of accident reconstruction,
Okay.
then doing truck enforcement on top of that, and then eventually was eligible for promotion, put a restriction in, and then had a good captain who fought for me to stay. I stayed. Then I looked at one of our programs called whenever there's a major truck crash, we have to do investigations to figure out why or do
Yeah.
support missions there just to see what all happened, but our reporting system was terrible for it, terribly inefficient. We're talking the average time from dispatch to closure of the case was like sometimes 6 to 9 months. And it was all old school, like Word document, and just there was no consistency on how it was checked. Coming from the Reconstruction background and stuff like that, I helped change the system. And then because of my
Kudos to
efforts
you.
for that, they were
Yeah.
like, hey, we want this full-time training unit. And they stuck me over there. So that's where I've been since.
Yeah. And so now you have the opportunity to retire at 40.
And he travels
Yeah.
all
what's up with
around
that?
for the trainings, for the training side,
throughout the state of Maryland.
No.
country.
Oh, the country.
Yeah, I
Oh,
just got
wow.
back from, where was I? Savannah.
Holy cow.
And so Casey, she's followed in the footsteps too. She's gotten into training as well. So
Casey is your sister?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
So
I have a burning question though.
go ahead.
Okay. Autonomous.
Autonomous
Driving.
truck. Yeah.
Now let's go into trucks.
Yep.
Do you think that will ever come to fruition?
I think it has a place, and I don't think
Like
that,
autonomous commercial vehicles.
Yes.
yeah. So you know
Like
how
a big tractor
Like
trailer.
Chapel Valley
rolling-
says, dispatch out to
No,
this place. And,
No, like-
and they send a truck with all the wheelbarrows and soil.
No.
Okay.
This is like Amazon saying we're
Oh,
going
yeah,
from
okay.
the port
yeah,
onto the highway, and your direct location is Hagerstown
yeah.
on like Route 81 or 70, and it's in the middle lane, and
I
it
went
doesn't
to,
move.
I went to Arizona for a sales conference last year.
Mhm.
And when we got to the airport,
Yeah.
Waymo.
autonomous drivers from Phoenix
Yep.
to Scottsdale, like a
Yep.
30-minute ride. You get
Yep.
in the autonomous car.
I got a funny story about an autonomous truck.
Roll, please.
Right.
Come on. This is what
So-
I'm here for.
We there's a lot of times where I feel like the division or the agency doesn't know what to do, so they just give me the reins.
Oh,
And
I'll give it to you. Okay, sweet.
So autonomous vehicles is one of them. Where
Yes.
I
I knew it.
have no idea how I got into
God
having to
put
go
you
to
here
some
for
of these
me
meetings.
today, man.
Yeah, so
I've been
I'm just
dying
like, I
to
don't
learn
know.
about
So there
this.
was one of these meetings we had to do where they sent me up to Aberdeen because this trucking industry, they had this autonomous truck they wanted to show off.
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay. And it was like me.
So hold on. So they're showcasing it here, or is
Yeah.
this like a
It's on the proving
event?
grounds.
Okay.
It's on the
okay.
proving grounds,
Okay.
right?
Oh.
Okay.
So I've been to so many of these events, and
Dial
they're like,
me
we're
in,
going to
baby."
show the truck.
Okay.
And I get there, and it's just a normal truck. And they're like, oh, well, it wasn't ready, so here's a truck. I was like, well, I know what a truck looks like. Like, this is nothing special. Why did you bring this?
Yeah.
Right?
You're not playing that dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're at Aberdeen Proving Grounds,
Okay.
and they're showing this truck, and it's driving around the little loop by itself. I'm not really impressed because
We're just going in a loop.
we're just in it.
Yep.
Right? Not even
Somebody
that-
could be doing it with a remote control.
Yeah, I don't know, right? So, there's like all these government officials. There's this lieutenant there, and they're like, "Well, we're going to show you our pedestrian avoidance system."
Okay.
And they're going to like, this truck's coming around the corner, and this lieutenant like wants to like walk out in front of this truck, and I was like, "I don't think that's a good idea."
I don't blame you. I
And
wouldn't
he's
even-
like,
yeah.
no, it's got this avoidance system. I was like, they're testing it. And he's like, no. And I was like, brother, look,
Hold on. Time out. This is Lieutenant on.
not
For
from MSP.
Okay.
I won't say the agency.
Thank you. Thank you.
No.
I didn't think so. Okay. So Lieutenant, no,
There might
not a
if
good
there
idea.
was a few lieutenants in our agency, I might let them walk. I don't know. I'll be like, go for it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
All
Let's
right.
see what happens. But
So he's saying he wants to.
he
do
said he
this.
wants to do this, and I was
Okay.
I finally like he starts to walk, and I like pull him back. I'm like, let's
Let's
how
put a
about-
dummy out here.
let's put the dummy out, right? So here they go. They're like, we do have a dummy. So here comes this truck. They throw this dummy out there. This truck does
Dun-dun.
not slow down, skip a beat, anything. Just wraps this dummy, and I'm looking at this lieutenant, and I was like, that was supposed to be you. Like,
Yeah.
how confident are you?
You know what that reminds me of? Have you heard about this table saw that's supposed to stop?
Oh, yeah.
The blade when you put your hand there or something? I still don't believe it, but the CEO of one of those companies put their hand out there. And I said, well, if that's, I mean, you're going to lose a finger, that's fine. But why would you even do it?
Yeah. Well,
It
I
doesn't
also
even make sense.
have you seen any of the old videos of like the inventor of Kevlar
No.
when he had like
I'll have
his
to look
I
it
think
up.
his wife shot him.
Oh my goodness.
It worked. Like
Did it?
the vest
Nice.
worked
Okay,
to stop
well,
him, but I'm
well.
still thinking like to myself like, hey, honey,
What, I don't know. What about all the vests
Yeah.
that didn't work?
Right?
I don't know. You imagine Betsy?
Or
She'd
she-
be like, "Can you take that?" She'd be like, "Yeah, I'll shoot you."
Yeah, she would in a minute.
you better make sure you're real nice to him
Oh,
beforehand
yeah.
too.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
But-
she'd probably shoot
So
somewhere else. but-
autonomous vehicles are an interesting beast for the trucking industry because,
Yeah.
like I said, there are some applications where it's going to be beneficial.
Okay.
I think it's going to have a real advantage
Uh-huh.
in very controlled environments.
Okay.
Okay. So one of those will be the Port of Baltimore or any port, right?
Yep.
A lot of times those trucks are sitting there and these guys idle for hours waiting to get loaded. It's just the nature of the business. Or at a docking yard or a distribution hub. So what they want to do is have these things.
Mhm.
They're in a distribution yard
Okay.
away from traffic.
Yep.
They can clearly have mapping systems and
Yep.
tons of the
Pin
truckers
points.
pinpoints and start locations, everything. So what they're working on for some of this is for these trucks to automatically take over in these controlled environments.
Yeah.
The drivers can now get rest.
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
Or
because
not
you can
paying
only.
the driver to just sit there. Now you're not paying, right?
Well,
Well,
the
they need
rest
to-
is the most
The
important
rest
thing.
is a huge,
huge
thing,
issue.
huge thing for like their fatigue and stuff like that. Just or
That's
just
where
give
the
them a break.
accidents come from, right? A
Yeah,
lot of the times.
A lot of times, yeah. Just rest and fatigue or whatever else, and especially because now you have multiple trucks that can triangulate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They are running a few of them in Texas, but Texas is big and flat,
Sure.
and they're running from point A to point B.
Okay.
So from like distribution hub to distribution hub.
Mhm.
The highway really isn't the issue
Mhm.
so much as once we get into cities, one-way streets,
Yeah.
cars, pedestrians.
That's why I was surprised
More
about
variables.
those cars in Phoenix.
Yeah.
But they say they're in California. They're in cities.
That's a
Yeah.
small area.
In Texas too, what they're doing is they're having the big trucks go from two known points from one hub to another.
Yeah.
Then they have local autonomous delivery trucks, but they've restricted them from making left-hand turns.
Ooh.
Yeah, I get it.
So they'll take
Very
longer
cool.
routes to the end point, but they
But
won't.
it's assumed to be safer
Mhm.
at the right.
And they only operate between the hours of like 2 and 4 in the morning or something crazy
Perfect.
like that.
Yeah.
So they're
So
getting there,
pushing that. Yeah.
but I don't think it's ever gonna materialize.
I would agree with you. I think it's not hoopla, but a lot of promotion and a lot of talk and hey, let's have you out.
Mhm.
Let's show you just to be able to say we're
I just
doing
think there's
things.
too many variables. I don't know how we could ever
Without
get
a
to
doubt.
it because
Yeah.
there's just you got trucks that would have to know about one-way streets, closures.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is like if something were to happen and there's a road closure, now you have to reroute. There was talks at
Whoa.
one point where how we do with the drone operators,
Yeah.
where you have the truck operating it autonomously on the highway,
Uh-huh.
and then once it gets off the route, there would be like a drone pilot that would kind of like dial into it.
Ooh.
But even that would be difficult.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're
I
going to
still
do.
saw
more
something the
variables.
other day. MSP had speed drones now.
Oh, I have no idea. That'd
That'd
be
be
news
cool.
to me.
Yeah, I saw.
I would love that.
Well, maybe
I
it
mean,
was
the
a
only-
lie. I saw it on social
Well, we
media.
gotta.
The only drone program we have is for mapping and search and rescue.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I want to go back to one thing that you said when you went to the cadet program.
Huh?
Was it your pastor, or how did faith become so big in your life?
All right. So faith came. I've always been in church. My story for church is kind of funny too, because I just ended up giving my testimony to a youth group the other day. But I had a neighbor that would take me to church,
Mhm.
and I don't know why he ever started taking me to church, and he's since passed, and I've never been able to ask him. No one knows why I started going to church. Like why I started going to church.
How old were you at that point when he started taking you?
I can't remember
Oh.
not being at church.
Holy smokes!
So growing
Wow.
up, I grew up in church. Grew up in
Can we give a shout out to your church? Where's your
Burnside
church?
First Church of God.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Pastor
awesome
Ernie.
church.
Yeah.
It's a great church.
So you didn't know when you started, but this neighbor took you.
Took me to church, and then grew up like inside the church. The pastor there instilled in me like the search for biblical truth. One of the best things, and I teach this way too because I teach youth group, and I'll do fill-ins for. I'm actually in ministry school now to
That's
be
where I
ordained.
wanted
That's
to
what I
get.
heard.
That's
Yep.
where I wanted to get.
So
I got you, dog.
one of the big things we teach is biblical truth. So if I tell you something, I want you in your Bible, and I want you reading along with me, because I want to show you that those words are in there, and that's the context. So I've always had that as like my foundation for it. So my youth group at Burnside really helped shape my foundation, especially with that neighbor always taking me. And then I eventually had a buddy of mine that was like, hey, come to my church for our youth group. I was like, all right, cool. He's like, yeah, we play kickball and volleyball and like all this other
Sounds
stuff.
like
I was
fun.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Right.
Right. I think I was like 15-ish when I started, and ended up meeting my wife at that youth group.
Oh, I thought it was high school that y'all met,
Right
but you guys went to the same school.
We went to the same school. We actually met in the youth group through a mutual
This is all
friend,
making sense to me now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which she was insane for dating me.
She wasn't.
So
man.
you
The
get
first thing
to-
I did to her was
Good
lit
Lord
her
put
hair
you
on
right
fire.
in front of you.
Right.
So, she said, "Dummy, here you are. I'm gonna hook you up."
Look, brother. So one of the things I had to realize
That's a shout
in my
out for
life,
your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things I had to realize that for my preparation for ministry school, I just had to do it was supposed to be an 8 to 10 page paper on how God's prepared you for ministry.
Yeah.
And I realized that in writing the paper that God has, because I don't have you hear some people's testimonies, they're like, I hit rock bottom.
Oh,
You
sure.
know, God
Yeah.
really pulled me out of the gutter. I've never had that.
Yeah.
He's just always been there for me. My problem is I didn't always realize it or how he was leading my path so much. But as much as I feel like I like to be independent and things like that, a lot of times when he calls me to do something, I'm usually looking over my shoulder, no, you're pointing to that guy back there, right? Not this guy.
Do me a favor. Give me an example. Not an example, but when's the last thing that you remember being so impactful where he did that? And I say God did that.
Oh, where he led my path?
Yep.
Knowing him, I'm sure it's daily.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's fine. But
I just-
good question.
whatever.
Good question.
Well,
something.
all right. Well, most recently, 2 hours ago, I was
Yep.
in my chaplain interview for the Maryland State Police because God told me to go do it.
Did you feel pressure in your chest? Where did you feel
Oh, that's a good. Yeah.
that presence?
So when
you know
does
what I
it
mean?
come to you?
Yeah.
When does it
How do you
not
know?
come to you? But it get you. I mean,
How do I know it's from
yeah.
him?
No,
Or
No,
how
I know you know for sure. But when it hits you, is it? Where do you get it from? Is it from when you're running? Is it when you're driving up the road? Is it just random? Is it? You know what I mean?
It's always random. All right, I'll give you a few examples, right? 'Cause
There
I
we
can
go,
give
here
you,
we go.
I can give you a ton of these examples, right?
But this most recent one was
Most
the chaplain.
recent one, right, was I'm applying to be the chaplain for the Hagerstown Barrack. So I'm in my ministry school probably a month ago.
Mhm.
And we're talking about how we can be more impactful in society or just with our group of friends or whatever else.
Yep.
And I start thinking to myself, I'm like, man, when I was younger at the Hagerstown Barrack, they used to have a Bible study. It was called Troopers for Christ. So maybe I should start that back up. It might be a good thing. We go through the class. That's just my thought or whatever else.
As you're going through class,
Yeah,
you're
as we're
thinking,
going, I'm thinking,
it's,
right?
It's the bubble.
Right. So I go to bed,
Mhm.
wake up the next morning as I'm getting ready for work. The thought, well, God tells me, ask about the chaplain.
Yep.
Ask about the chaplain, not
yeah,
Not this
not the Bible,
Bible study.
Not the
right,
Bible study.
chaplain.
Ask about the chaplain.
chaplain.
But it's such a heavy conviction that I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
So I
Now, this might be a little personal. You
Mhm.
said in the morning. A lot of people say that they have their best thoughts while they're in the shower. That's when God talks to me. He's like, hey, dude, while you're actually slowing down,
right.
Yeah, but that's
throughout
probably
the day.
because it's the only time you ever slow down.
that's
Right.
the only time I ever slowed down.
So-
Thank you for
right,
the
right.
observation. He's like, dude, this is what you need to do today.
So
So how
God
did it
will-
hit you
I was
when you brushing your teeth?
No, he was
I
getting
no.
dressed.
I was getting dressed.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
getting dressed? Okay.
So
In your uniform?
I don't know if I was wearing my uniform that day or not. I don't always wear my uniform.
He
Okay,
anymore.
so you
typically,
can go
like-
civilian / uniform. Okay.
So I said, okay, fine. So I picked up the phone and I was called the Hagerstown Barrack lieutenant, who is
Uh-huh.
the same sergeant
Yep.
from Newmarket.
yeah.
Right.
This
And
guy.
then, yeah.
You're a cadet guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the notorious thing that I always remember from him is when you call him, he never answers. Never answers his phone. He answers on the
Stop
first
it.
ring.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Answers on
Yeah,
the first
cold chills,
ring.
man.
So I was like, okay, I can. And at this point, I'm like, I can kind of see where this is going. So I said,
Were you prepared when he picked up?
I bet
I was a
Or
little
you-
taken back.
you-
I was like,
you-
oh,
yeah,
hey.
oh.
Yeah. So I said, hey, Lieutenant. He's like, hey, Gary, what do you need? I was like, hey, do we have a chaplain at the barrack? And he goes, no, I've been trying to get one. What do you need? I'll point you in the right direction. What's going on? Because he thought I was calling, I guess, about I needed the chaplain. Right? Like Sarah finally got her gift of sight back and was going to divorce me. But so I was
I'm
like,
gonna
no,
need to meet your wife someday.
Mm.
Yep.
you'll remember.
I will. I
So,
strong woman.
yeah,
I
oh,
take
yeah.
it. Mhm.
So I was like, no, I want to be the chaplain. He's like, oh, he's taking back on the phone a little bit. He's like, I've been asking around for a chaplain forever. he goes, we've had troopers retire and open up churches. I've reached out to them. They don't want to do it. They don't want, and then he goes, we've been without a chaplain since I've been the commander here and everything else. And we've hit the ball rolling. So I started that process. So,
And this is where you wrote your 8-page.
no. So I
No?
wrote,
Okay.
That's for ministry school, right?
That's for
ministry school. Yeah.
Okay,
I wrote,
sorry.
it was
Because
14.
I need clarity. Yeah.
He's already in ministry school
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that path.
Yeah.
But then it hits him about Hagerstown
That
Barracks.
is great.
Yeah.
He said I was looking
Yeah.
for somebody for years
Yeah.
and nobody would volunteer.
Yep.
You are God's gift, man.
Oh, I don't know about that.
When you get home, be like, hey, I want you to know. What was your wife's name again?
Sarah.
Sarah. You know I'm God's gift.
No, I'll never do
Treat
that.
me a little bit better.
No.
Yeah, right.
No.
I think,
I want to hear with a
yeah,
result
you know
of
what
that.
she'd say? Get over yourself.
Ooh, dang.
So the funny thing is, when I told her that I think I'm being called to be a minister, she told me, duh.
So I have to say, one of the best
You need
experiences.
to let go, man. That's what it is. Just
So-
listen to her.
So one of the best
Yeah.
experiences I had at church. So growing up,
Yeah.
we stayed far away from church.
Yeah.
So when I moved into the neighborhood, and after a couple of years, he always told me about his church, and so we went, and we would take the kids. We loved it. I mean,
Yeah.
we were not very good about it. We tried to go, but we were not very good about it. But I loved it, and one of the best things was I got to experience him lead it for the day.
For the
right?
for the church or for
Yeah,
the youth
yeah,
ministry?
he-
No.
Oh, okay, for the youth.
No.
No,
for
the-
the whole church.
Yeah,
for the
so
whole church.
So he kind of filled in, substituted one day, just as a guest, and
Yeah.
led it. And I remember being like,
You're captivated.
I was like, "You did a great job. You should do this." And I remember him being like, I'm not," But then recently, when we were having a cigar, he told me he was going through ministry school.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Is that
And
when
I
you sent
was
me a
like-
picture from when you were in church, or what church was that?
Yeah, different church.
Different church. Okay.
So
Yeah, I filled in a different one.
yeah, but when I was with him last having a cigar and he mentioned it, I was like, full circle.
God bless you,
Full
man.
circle.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love
Yeah,
it.
I've taught youth group for like over 10 years now. I actually teach 2 now. But yeah, when you look, God's been he's been very patient with me. I will
Yeah,
say that.
yeah.
He's very patient, but
Good.
he's also very persistent.
Of course.
What
Yeah.
I love about it,
He's
though,
over
is
here on your shoulder, man.
he's
just
so
jumping from
what I
window.
love about his approach though with it is it's very practical. So like
Yeah, you wouldn't come. I wouldn't.
no, when we
wouldn't
talk
think
about
anything of it.
church and when
Yeah.
we talk about God,
Yeah.
it's always so practical. It's like one of those ways it's he has a way about it where you're
Yeah.
like, it makes sense.
Makes
It's
total
the
sense.
best experience I've ever had
Yeah.
is talking with him about
So I want to come back to that, which is like, okay, Chris and I, of course, over the years have reconnected and we grew up together. And my big thing is, there's a lot of youth out there that don't have, faith, whatever that
Mhm.
may be. They don't have mentors
Mm-hmm.
or gentlemen like yourself who could be that person when you went to go ask about what should I do.
or
Right.
that neighbor who
Or
took
yeah.
you to church.
Exactly.
Right.
So, what's your advice to someone who may listen to this and say, "Oh, that's the next step. That's what I should go do or consider or think about." Is out there? What would you say to them? What would you tell them to do?
I think some of it is just keep your eyes open.
Mm.
There's plenty of opportunities to step into any role
Right.
and see where you need. Like I started coaching soccer because I watched this, I forget who it was, but this poor guy, like with these kids running around and like there was no help. I was like, well, I'll go help.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll step into that. Youth group I stepped into because my wife wanted to teach it and started teaching that because of, helping her out and seeing the need there. It's, God will show you the path. I think
Yeah.
my biggest thing that I had to come to realize was that I'm not so important that I can impede God's will. Because my biggest apprehension about doing certain things was that I was going to fail him and then screw things
it up,
up,
yeah.
right? But His will be done with or without me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
whether or not I'm
go along
I'm
with
go along with it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then trusting in His strength more than my own.
Yep.
So
But I want people. So I never was really good at this, but over the years talking with Dario, I mean, you've helped me with it, but over the last couple of years, as Dario and I have done different things with business and stuff, we've met for years now every week for coffee, And he'll come in and he'll be like, I've got this idea. We should do this, or we should talk to somebody because of this. And he's like, God told me we should be doing this. And then we start down this path and then it all clicks.
Mm.
And it's helped me because I've been more open to these thoughts in my mind as they come to me. I've just learned that when they come to me, I'm like, follow it.
Yep.
Don't doubt it. Don't question it. Follow it.
Yep.
And sometimes that might just be from coming here and doing a recording of a podcast and having somebody come up out of the blue. And then it opens up this door where we're like, it all happens for a reason. Anyway, so what I want to help people understand is how they can be more in tune with these callings. You know what I mean? Because oftentimes people doubt it. People don't
Yeah.
believe.
Well, one thing that I appreciate what you're saying is that he's always been there.
Mhm.
And you didn't know because somebody
wasn't
took you.
looking.
Yeah, you weren't looking.
I wasn't looking for it.
My father is who was not there for me when I was younger, but that's a whole nother story. The one thing that was consistent with him is that he had Catholicism and he was a devout Catholic. Great. And in his letters that he would write to me, there was a trace of, hey, make sure you say your prayers and yada, yada, yada. So I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. But fast forward to today, I think a lot of people feel like you have to go to church, to be a part of God or, have faith. But really, it can start with, hey, you know what? I believe. And I'm just going to say a little prayer or be thankful for what I have and just say a grace,
It started for me more being practicing daily gratitude. It started there for me.
Right.
And then being more mindful of, okay, well, I'm grateful to who? And then I started directing it more towards God and having these discussions, which actually turned into prayer every day, all the time.
Right. And then you have one of the greatest neighbors on the planet,
Well,
who's might be able to help you a little bit further, but
Maybe. We'll see.
you know what I mean? So he's
Yeah,
there.
no,
And that's what I mean.
yeah.
Like for you, it was just there. It just
Yeah,
started off
yeah.
that way where,
Yeah, but and he's always,
you know,
it's always that same thing where I think the other thing is the confidence to be able to say, I'm being led. Like you'll come to
Right.
me, you'll be like, Chris, no, I'm being led, or we're being led to this.
there's no doubt in my
And
mind.
there's never like, I think maybe, you're always like, it's got to happen.
No
and
doubt.
he's the same way. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that, but it's more like I'm being led, and
Yeah.
it's pretty, like, it is what it is. It,
Yeah.
and
I
huge
think when you
respect
had
for
said
that.
something about, hey, we got to interview this guy,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, at first, I'll
Yeah.
be very clear. I was like, okay. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, he's like, you're going to really like him.
every
And
week we meet and
you
we
know.
talk about the schedule. We talk about who we're going to interview. We talk about why. We talk about
Yeah.
their impact.
Yeah.
From day one when we started, I always have said at some point at the right time.
Yeah.
And then it just added to it when you were like, did I tell you I'm in ministry school? I was like, dude, that like
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
Yeah,
So the stars aligned,
but
and I was
also,
like, sweet.
some
you know?
people could go through 22 years being a trooper saying, okay, I'm eligible for retirement. I'm going to go work at Jimmy John's or at whatever,
Yeah.
right? Or I know his dream really is a tobacco store, a cigar store, but
Yeah, I'd love to run a cigar shop.
but he's like, hey, what else? I'm
Really?
going to follow
Interesting.
God and I'm going to go into ministry school. So you go to ministry school. Also, so you know, we should wrap up soon. Okay. But I want to know, you go to ministry school. What's the outcome of that? What's your goal with that? Where do you want it to lead you? Where is it leading you?
Well, I don't know where it's going to lead me yet because God hasn't told me. But selfishly, I'm hoping our paths align. I'd love to keep in youth ministry
And
because that's like I love working with the youth and
Yep.
giving them that support structure, or just like to show that here's biblical truth, here's something that you can always rely on.
Yep.
A lot of them, even there's a few of them that don't come from like the greatest backgrounds and things like that. And you can be that example. It's like,
Yeah.
this is not, you're not destined to stay there. You can have a path forward, but the completion of ministry school, I don't know where that's going to lead me because I haven't been, like, when I finally made that decision to like relent to God's will, I said, fine, then wherever he leads me
Yeah.
at that point.
so,
Like,
and
so I don't know where I'm going, but
But I love that, though.
doing-
One of his goals has been to do youth ministry.
Yeah.
Right. So he can have that same impact or an impact on the youth that
That's why
he,
he's sitting
right?
here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm still doing, like I said, I'm still doing youth ministry. I coach soccer. There's like 10 of my soccer kids that go to this other youth group, which is like a church that the one you went to the other
Church
day.
you've been to, too. The Lighthouse. I say Lighthouse, but yeah.
Oh, in
I'm sorry.
Kingsville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
me and my wife started going there on Wednesday nights for Bible study.
Okay.
And then they were like joking that like all my soccer kids are going there for youth group. And I was like, well, I'll go help out. So now
Yeah.
I teach my group on Sunday morning, and then I'll help out on Sunday evening. And it's been a great time.
What is youth ministry? Like, I understand a minister or a pastor or whatever, but youth ministry is
so. I think here's my opinion on it. Right, youth ministry to me is just giving them somewhere safe to go and let that spiritual growth and bonding come together. Some people, it seems like they want to like dumb down the Bible to the youth, but in my opinion, hey, they're in high school. They're in high school. They can if I can dissect poems and do physics and everything else, then I can hit you with theology and biblical truth, and I can say, hey, here's a scenario. Where would you go in the Bible to find this?
Yep.
I think one of the biggest things that I firmly believe is the most detrimental part to your spiritual development, or even like your biggest chance of falling away from ministry, or not ministry, but like from your faith, is the ages between like 18 and 25 when you're establishing yourself. No one's making you go to church. You're not really accountable to anybody. I mean, I did it too, where like I kind of like, I didn't like turn my back on God or anything, but my walk was not close.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I graduated
So you
the academy.
you strayed away a little bit.
Yeah. Well, but not on purpose either. Right. You know, I was working the barrack. We had, I got one weekend off a month if I was lucky. When I got that weekend off, I was not wanting to get up Sunday morning and drive 35 minutes to church. I wanted to sleep in.
Yep.
And my weekends, I wanted to like hang out and relax, and straight away, finally came back, more established, more everything else. I think the youth is the same way. Going to college, like where's it? Like if Anthony was going to go to
Coastal
church,
Carolina. Oh, yeah.
but where would he go?
Right.
Right? Like,
Very good point.
and, even as pastors or youth ministers, right? One of the things we should probably be doing is saying, hey, Anthony, you're going to Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
Let me call down there and like start talking to churches and be like, hey, bud, here's where you can go. I already talked to him about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's really cool is that you're the soccer coach.
Hmm.
So they look at, oh, hey, coach, like I coach football. Coach D. Oh, Coach D goes to church.
Yeah.
Right. They see that you're actually going, you're there. You're not just like bullshitting them.
Yeah.
And that's that integrity piece. You're leading by example.
I was about to say, even just by the action, just you walking on your path, people see it.
Yeah.
And they're inspired.
That's the biggest testimony you can have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Salt of the earth.
Yep.
Be different.
So something that I've always wanted to do, never done it well. So an employee that I had years ago for one of my birthdays gave me this beautiful like leather bound, I think it's like men's, like a new men's Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look at the name of it. But I always hear people say, there's so many, you owe me that book, by the way, but I always hear people tell me that
Don't
I always
forget.
hear people say there's so many leadership quotes, or there's so much direction in the Bible, leadership, life, everything. And when I open it up, I'm like, where do I start? Where can I go and read something and be like, I mean, I'm sure everywhere. I'm sure you can open it up everywhere, but just a beginner, someone who can open it up and just a good starting place.
I think,
My reference to the book is he has a leadership,
top 10 leadership conversations in the Bible.
and it's a book.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And he sent it to me, said, I'm going to give it to you or let you use
You
it.
still owe him.
Yeah.
You still owe him.
Yeah.
Well, you
That's
haven't been home. Every time I drive by your place, you're
That's
gone.
true.
My man.
Yeah.
Hold him accountable.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So
Okay.
where do you
Anyways,
start with the Bible?
If you're going to start with the Bible, right?
We're talking the Bible, right?
The Bible, right? If you're going to start, and your easiest place to probably start is the gospel, right? Start in Matthew. Know why,
That's the point.
know why we are who we are and what's different. If you're going to start with a leader, start with the best, Jesus.
Yep.
But you can also see like how he was prepped to come in, through John the Baptist, and then you can dig in. Jesus is the perfect example of a leader, right? When you're talking about like God made flesh, which is what Christ was, right? You would think that he would be like the ultimate power, right? But he didn't come that way. He came and he was a servant. He came and he really guided people. He didn't chastise people because of their deficiencies, right? And he went to where he was needed. He didn't go to the kings and everything else. He went to the sick, the masses, and things like that. But he was also strong and devoted to what his mission was, right? And he held people accountable. Everybody loves to talk about the
I love where you're going with this.
everybody loves to talk about like stories in the Bible, and like when Jesus said to there was a young woman in the Bible, and she was probably a prostitute, right? She was a prostitute, and they were going to stone her. And everyone will say that everyone knows this story, right?
Yeah.
And he walks up and he says, "Ye without sin cast the first stone," right? And they all just kind of like fade away.
Yeah.
And he asks her, "Are they gone?" And she says, "Yes." And everyone stops the story there. But he says, "Neither have they condemned you, nor will I. Go and sin no more."
Yeah.
And that's the part where people forget. Go and sin no more means change your life.
Yeah. And the people who he said, those without sin, throw, and they didn't, he was holding them accountable because they all,
Yeah.
Right.
they
So,
all were being, they
So
were,
she had a second chance.
correct.
Right.
She has the second chance. No one is without redemption.
Yep.
Right. But
but they were also contradicting themselves. They were judging while they shouldn't have been judging because
That's
they
the
were,
key word.
yeah.
Judge.
Correct.
Do not judge. There's only one judge.
But also, I look at his leadership, and when he tells her, he's firm with her when he says, you cannot continue this path.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And like sometimes those are the conversations that a leader needs to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
They're the hard ones.
that we don't always have.
Yeah.
Right?
I love it. Where are you landing us, buddy? Your wife calling you?
Nah.
No.
I could have leadership
see, this
conversations
is
about the
tough.
Bible.
You better-
I don't know.
See, this is
No,
tough.
I know.
It's
I
tough
can-
because
I
we
can
haven't
sense
even touched on any of the leadership stuff we talk about. But
Well, my
we
wife
need
is
to
a
have him
lot
back.
stricter and tougher than probably his wife. Well, maybe we can compare notes someday.
Yeah.
But she's going to be like, where in the world are you? So we got to wrap it up.
so I first thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
I think at some point, I know, I would love to have you back so we can continue the leadership discussions because we didn't even get into any of the leadership. Anything else you want to cover?
No, we're good, man.
How about you?
Me?
Yep.
I think
You
went
close
through
us
all.
out.
I think he went through all the leadership stuff. I think you have understood that from the beginning, and then there's an end, right? Alpha, Omega, or beginning and end. That from the beginning there was something there that you could hold on to strongly and tightly, and it's always been there throughout your life. And that your kids, if you did give them the
Yeah. The 4 rules.
the 4 rules,
Yeah.
right? I firmly believe because you're leading by example, and that your story is quite remarkable that you followed this path. It's always been there. You might have, when we're all young, we all think we have the answers,
Right.
in that prime time of our lives, that you came back to it and they'd be like, wow, I have quite the dad. And that dad is, would trust me to go and do the things that I do. And I think you're going to be shocked when they show you how
Finally do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'd be curious to see what happens if you ever did explore that in the future and your wife was on board with it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Well,
Well, they have
Yeah,
a few years. I'm telling you, a
yeah,
lot
no,
changes.
I know. I love it. And I think so. How I'd love to end it is thank you for being a guiding post, a beacon of hope for others quietly,
Very humble, right?
Quietly.
Yeah.
where a lot of people, I think,
Yeah.
talk,
yeah.
and it's just like, come on, man, enough is enough, or you're not, it doesn't seem like you're that way. So I appreciate
No,
you.
I try not to be.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. And I'm glad to hear that you're going to hopefully be the chaplain of the Hagerstown.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah,
What's that
we'll see.
process?
That's right.
So I did the interview. Now they got to meet and do my background.
Okay.
I think you'll be,
I'm
gonna pray.
You know it. Yeah.
I
For you?
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always take this.
Yep.
All right.
And God bless you, man.
Thank you. Thank you, dude.
Nothing but air and opportunity.
Having opportunity. That's all we need.
Foundationally, you were like a beacon.
And inspire So
I think that's a key word, inspire.
go towards change.
Can we talk about that?
Development and growth.
You've already laid the foundation and groundwork. You feel it?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Now hold on. Hold that thought. Take a deep breath. Feel me here, okay?
I got nothing but air and opportunity.